All right, welcome back. Finally, May expiration. With me, as usual, by remote is Thomas after a hiatus last month from both of us. Thomas, how have you been? How are you?
Pretty good overall. We had a little couple mishaps last month, but we're all good now. So we're back in the saddle. Excited to talk about what's going on.
That's all right. I always have a backup plan. AI automated you is what happened. You weren't able
That's
to make it, so
that
I
makes sense.
highlighted the YouTube channel, which I've been tweaking, revamping, rethinking about how to use it. What's interesting is I've used a lot of the AI video generation tools to try to make clippets about whatever the topics are that we talk about here. And what I've learned is AI videos, while informative, not at all viral or monetizable.
Mm,
Apparently, no one wants to hear a 4 minute lecture from AI bot tell you how things are going on the market front.
mm.
So the YouTube channel is up. It will continue to be experimented with. You might see some interesting things. I think we're gonna go shorts for a while. We're gonna start small. If I can get a solid 8 second short on a topic, really showing some legs, I think we'll call that a win. So I think that's the first target.
Sounds
So,
good.
YouTube channel, subscribe if you haven't. It's going to show interesting things. But we are back this month. It's May. It's the beginning of summer.
Yeah, the World Day's coming up.
Memorial Day is coming up. Yes, and it's been a hell of a 2 months.
Are you gonna
Let's.
sell in May and go away?
We're not going to sell in May and go away. No,
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 gonna ride the wave.
no. But what have you been doing over the last 2 months?
What have I been doing over
Short
the last
version.
two? In terms of market stuff or just life in general? Life in general, I've been fixing up all the crap around my house.
I've been doing a lot of that as well. I agree.
I got to get ready for the spring. There's a lot of work to do outside. I took down a bunch of landscaping 2 years ago, so I'm planting new, fresh landscaping all around the outside of my property. That is a nightmare, and I'm concerned that all the arborvitaes that I bought are going to die, which is going to be a supreme waste of money. So that's going to suck. But to each their own. I'm learning. Leave it at that.
Does your knowledge of a civil engineer with waterway management, does that like impact your gardening decisions? Your
Kind of, actually.
no.
Like what the drainage in my backyard looks like. Yeah, like how I actually decided to change things. But yeah, I mean, it's such a small piece of property, it doesn't ultimately matter. You know,
Fair enough. Fair
you know,
enough.
it's not going to impact anybody as long as I don't flood my neighbors, which is impossible for the amount of area that I have, so it doesn't matter. So,
All right.
believe it or not, I don't live on acres and acres and acres of land.
Oh no, I don't want that either. Don't get me wrong.
It's not that I don't want that; it's just that I don't have
I don't
that.
I don't. I have like a quarter acre and I complain about it. I am not interested in being a grand landowner anytime
Mm.
soon.
No, no, you don't want to be what is it, a serf? The
Well,
people
I
that
didn't.
own.
I don't want to be, but the way the world is going, you never know. I might end up on one of Bill Gates' plantations.
Yeah,
Just I don't know,
yeah. This,
guiding AI bots
hmm
that are
yeah,
operating somewhere else in the world.
yeah. All the AI farming robots that are gonna come over and take the world.
That's like a bad episode of Futurama where you say like the game is that you're just in raking gear, like VR raking gear, and it's like wow, it's like I'm really raking,
Yeah,
and then somewhere else there's a robot who's actually raking
yeah,
outside.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it'll turn
Uh,
into.
oh man, yeah.
All right.
But yeah, so I don't know. Over the last 2 months, I've had lot going on. A lot of things happening. A lot of I don't know. Fixing things is really what it comes down to. Fixing a lot of things. So quite
Well,
breaking. Yeah,
at least you're heading in the right direction.
hopefully.
Mhm. And speaking of things that break and things that get fixed, we have new background going now. There's going to be a lot of churn. There's a lot of AI integration slowly happening in the Trader Dad's world, just like there is anywhere else on the planet right now. So a lot of the content has gone bare minimum, but it's being replaced by like a little bit more agentic way of doing things. So getting my credentials up because it's just the way you just have to. There's no way else around it. So we are working through some bugs on everything and figuring out some new modus operandi. Is that what it is? Modus operandi? We're trying to figure out a few new workflow threads going. So things have I've swapped like schedulers, for example, with all of the content that might go up, and that's been like in transit. I'm like living, breathing bad IT project at an enterprise. It's all in my head right now.
Got it.
Which stinks because then I also have to deal with all of the IT projects at the enterprise that I have to
Yeah,
contend with as
you
well.
need an intern, is what you're telling me.
Well, I'll tell you, one of them is Proxy, my AI
Yeah,
assistant. I've named him
yeah.
Proxy.
Proxy. Okay.
So Proxy, well, you know what? Let's save some of that for later. We'll get into Proxy and all of the dealings. In the later segments. So, quick recap. We're trying to categorize this a little bit better. So, we're going to talk about the markets and then we'll get into some education stuff. And then we're going to cap it off with some dad life stories and wisdom, etc. So, they'll be a little, the chaptered versions will be a little bit stronger. So, if you're a real fan of the dad life section, you can just get that. If you're interested in the markets chatter, you can get that. If you're interested in the whole bit, you can get that. You'll be able to pick and choose, as it were. So, without further ado, let's get into the markets.
Getting into the markets.
All right. So, if you're a Substack reader, you know that I am following the semis and the AI stocks pretty closely across all fronts because they are now the majority of the market. Like, that's just what it is.
Yep.
So the question becomes now, what do you do with that information? And I've been really mulling that in my head for the last couple of weeks now, and it feels like you just have to ride it. Like that's sort of what my initial verse is on this. Like on all fronts, I'm kind of capitulating and just saying like we just gotta ride this. Like I have to learn AI. AI is what's going to drive your returns. AI is going to do whatever, whether you good, bad, or indifferent, whether you think it's true or not, you just got to ride it.
Right. Yeah, it's not really going away anytime soon. It's going to exist for quite some time. So you got to figure out how it's going to be integrated and what it's going to do and how it's going to impact one, your day-to-day life, and two, business, and then three, what's it going to do to the stock market? How that all is going to play in, you know.
So you're seeing everything flow downward, but it's sort of like this waterfall move where Intel is suddenly a hot stock. And like I mentioned that a couple months ago, I remember that like Intel would be very interesting to watch. The government has a 10% stake in Intel now, so of course they're going to have some oomph behind them, right?
Right.
So like all those semiconductors have been skyrocketing now, despite all the Iran war stuff. So we end up with that as the first wave, and now it's being handed off to the second wave with all the hyperscalers. They bought the chips, now they're installing the chips. Now they're going to have to start soon selling the capacity of those chips to customers. So they're the ones driving it now because it's like the ball's in their court now.
Right.
So you're getting that's what I mean. There's been a lot of other factors as well, like all the Iran headlines and stuff. The market's more or less gone neutral on, but that
Oh,
AI
that was
trade now is driving the whole market, like everywhere on Wall Street and on Main Street. Like, are you seeing a lot of it on like the Main Street side?
um more so than I thought it would be. There, on you know sectors that you didn't think it was going to be touching. It's touching those sectors. It's touching things that you weren't anticipating it touching, and at least from like from what I deal with, that's the talk is how all of that stuff can be integrated into your day-to-day business stuff. So like it's touching everything. It's and it's being saturated. It's saturating everything, and I think that's going to become a problem real soon for a lot of people. So we'll see. But yeah, in terms of
It
like,
sounds so naughty.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just touching everything.
well, yeah, well, so
Show
at
us
least,
on the doll where AI touches
yeah,
you,
all right. Oh man, well, that'll be a whole different industry.
which is coming too, I'll bet.
Oh, it's
Coming
coming, all right.
also.
But Yeah, but actually, there's a big the big talk in our company right now is exactly how AI is going to shape civil engineering, and that's going to be like a whole thing as to what can be done and what is going to do, and that's one half of it, and then the other half of it is the actual development stuff, and data centers are the big soup du jour, question mark. I know we talk about that all the time, but that is I'm learning more and more and more about data centers, and it's eye-opening to see how those things operate and to see what that actually takes for those things to what that does when a data center goes in and how that affects communities, resources, people. It's scary to say the least. There's a lot that we can get into, but yeah, that's it's gonna be
But like I have a very Wall Street perspective on it, and I have a
mhm,
very IT perspective on it. Like don't
mhm,
forget, like I've done enterprise IT
yeah,
for a while, so I
right,
am following the news well
right,
about what is going on. And I have a very cautiously I've like a skeptical optimism about it,
mm,
in that I will be able to like ride the wave of it from multiple fronts.
that's fair,
Like have like I'm watching the markets and stuff and how that's right. Like I know that this is what's driving things right now.
right.
I'm
Eh,
like and I am like long. I've like hung on. It's like in some movie where like there's a big chain
mhm,
and somebody like hang like James Bond, he like hangs on and he like goes up, you know? Like
yeah,
that's all you can do.
yeah, and I think in the short term that is accurate. I think
The
that
short term, yeah, that's actually the very key phrase there.
and I think that there are a lot of things at play, and I think I think your Substacks that are coming out, I think you're going to hit on quite a few of these topics here. Um, that I think in a couple of years there's going to be an inflection point, and it can go. It's going to be a very clear point. It can go one of two ways. It's either going to continue to explode, or it's going to have a sharp cliff that's going to come off. Because even if if talk about the technical side of things, that's one aspect, like the actual technology of data centers and things like that. But then there's a social aspect of it and an actual real world physical aspect of it that is being fought hard. There's a lot of people that are against a lot of these data centers going in. And if
I mean, the
if
problem.
people win those fights, then there's going to be a lot less areas that data centers can go in, and it's going to be very difficult for companies to continue to put data centers in certain areas. And that's
See,
going to be tough.
like they, if you listen to say like I don't know, there's AI podcast time a dozen, but like the bad PR
Mhm.
behind data centers now are such that I think a lot of people feel like they're making a bigger impact by protesting than they really are. Because I'm not gonna lie, if a few council people and couple soccer moms are trying to drum up a grassroots movement to stop these things, they're in for a world of hurt because these guys are going to get their data centers.
Well, well,
If
that's
it's
a good
like
point.
and if it's behind like the like and if there's like more like structural forces trying to like orchestrate that, that's a different story. But it's still a moot point because
And
they're going to get built like some.
well, well, that I think a lot of lessons were learned during the warehouse boom, and I think a lot of people learned a lot of valuable lessons in terms of fighting certain developments. And I think that there's going to be lawsuits that get brought up both on both sides, from developers suing townships, and then from constituents suing developers for a lot of different things. And depending on how those legal proceedings play out, that's going to impact a lot of the landscape. And inevitably, what's going to happen, like everything throughout the course of history, is that things that nobody wants are going to go into impoverished communities and really screw those people over. So that's where they're going to go, and that's going to be a big problem. So, it's one of those things where, um, i i yeah, in the upper ritzy areas of certain states, there's not going to be data centers in those areas, but they're going to plow down you know small rural areas and they're going to ram it down their throats where people don't have the recourse to fight them. So yeah, they're going to go in, and the bigger problem is that if you put a big data center in an area where there's, you know, less people, and or it's going to impact a certain subset of people, the environmental pull on that is a lot. So specifically, like I think in Arkansas or somewhere, there's a big data center, and it pulls right from the Mississippi River, and it pulls like 1 million gallons a day, which is a crap ton of water. And the environmental pull on all these things, and then also the electrical pull, like infrastructure isn't set up for these things,
Hmm.
and that's going to be a big problem. So, who's going to foot the
Oh
bill to
yeah.
fix the infrastructure? But then if they don't fix the infrastructure, then all of these things are going to just drain communities, and it's just going to cause a huge problem. So even if you don't live directly next to one, it's still going to impact you in terms of your electric bill and in terms of quality of life, and all of those things are going to be a big problem. So, how do people address that? And is there going to be any recourse for the average Joe? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Probably not, because but people who learned a lot of lessons from the warehouse boom, they're organizing in terms of legal proceedings, and they learned a lot, and they're also gathering a lot of evidence on existing data centers to basically write into ordinances that are going to be, a lot more robust and stringent on things. So that if people, get ordinances passed and laws passed, and those data centers aren't complying with that, well, then the question becomes, what happens? You know, is there going to be any teeth to the regulations? And if there is, that's good, I guess. But if there isn't, then it's status quo.
I hear you. Yeah, you don't want to conflate two different things. There's people who
No,
want it there and the environmental or whatever implications of it being there versus it existing anywhere on Earth,
right.
right? Because like if it doesn't go, there's like that we don't want it here. Okay, fine, we'll put it there.
Mhm.
Doesn't change
Right.
the fact that it'll eventually end up somewhere.
True. Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is
So,
like the way I know what you're talking about. The water thing I have to do more research on. I got to be
well,
honest with you.
so,
But
so, so that,
that's
so,
like
so,
I'm hearing it both directions that there's using so much water and no, the water usage stats are all wrong, blah 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 blah.
well,
I
and
actually have
that's,
no idea what it is. It's
yeah.
clearly
See,
a point of contention.
well, so there's a lot of different things, and I don't need to get into each individual part, but that's one of the things that I'm learning about, is that I'm learning about the operational side of these things and how they work. Because when you go and sit and talk
You
in front of a
should for like knowing how this stuff works is not trivial.
No, it's not. And what happens is that, if you're representing a client that is putting these in, one, they're going to educate you so that if you're talking about it, you can speak on it, because people are going to be looking to you as an expert on these things to, speak adequately on it. So there's been a data center 10 years ago is different than a data center today. And the data centers that are going in 5 years from now are going to be different from the data centers today. So the water usage thing in particular is a point of contention, because water has to come from somewhere, and the concern is that in areas that you're pulling from wells, you're going to deplete the aquifer, and that is the concern. And then people are saying, well, there's new adaptive reuse technologies where, like, there's an initial draw, and then they recirculate that water. So that initial draw is like the initial draw, like take a couple million gallons or whatever it's going to be, and then you hold it, and then you can cool it, and then you can reuse it, as opposed to taking fresh water out, cooling it, turning it into steam, and then the steam goes into the atmosphere. Because then you'd have to, replenish that, and that's a whole big, thing. So whether or not that technology is as good as they say it is, who knows? It's one of those things where there's not as much data on the newer technologies, but they're claiming that it's going to be as good. So once more of these things get built and you're going to start seeing those things, then that's when you're going to start to understand whether or not they're full of shit or not. So who knows?
Well, that's the thing, and that's the thing. We're seeing all of like this is the slingshot getting pulled back right now. You know
Yep,
what I mean?
100%.
And we don't know if when he lets go, whoever
It's
this
gonna
guy is,
it's gonna
like
blow
we
up in
don't
your face, or
know
it's
if
gonna go 1,000 miles.
like go. It's like go with me here. I don't know where this analogy is going to go exactly, but it's like the slingshot gets all the way pulled back on all fronts. Like don't get me started on all the debt that they're taking on to build these data centers.
Yep.
But that gets pulled back, and then at some point they're going to let go. Maybe that's the worst case scenario. So there's really two ways this goes. It They're pulling it back. They keep control over it. They aim, they release, they fire, they hit their target, and it's exactly what everyone expected. The other option is they pull it back and it slips right out of their hand, and then it smacks them in the eye, and then the stone goes the other direction.
Yep.
And then it's like, well, shit, what did you think was going to happen?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
going to be one of those two things.
But
And like,
and you know what it's going to be.
here's the thing. Ready? And I'll bury the lead for you. The entire industry, they're 9 year olds holding a slingshot for the first time.
Well, there's 1,000 9-year-olds holding a slingshot for the first time. So some of them are going to be okay. Some of them are going to hit their face. Some of them are going to fall down. Like there's going to be a whole
Uh,
wide array of things that happen. And the people that have the bigger 9-year-olds
but
that can hold it a little stronger are going to be
one
okay.
of the things you learned, one of the things you learn is when if you go through like a trading program, like a decent one, they will teach you, if something's cheap or expensive to buy it or sell it or whatever else. So like if you think 50% of them are going to be able to shoot that
Oh
slingshot,
no, no, no. But there's going to
I'm
be
going to
variant.
sell that to you all day.
There's going to be like
Like 12 of
four,
them will get it right.
four can fire the slingshot, and
12
then
of them will get it right because 11 of them have older brothers.
exactly.
That's what that would be.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. They've seen it been done. Yeah. So and then the 60 of them, don't know what's going on, and then they hit their eye and they go cry, and
Right, right,
then
right.
then
So
40 of
how
them
lucky do
drop
you
it, and
feel? Are you going to be the one who,
yeah, yeah.
so but the whole operation is gonna keep moving forward. And so like ride the wave, right?
Yeah,
All right, real quick as we come to a close on the market section, let's go to the charts.
yeah.
Because I have like two or three charts which we have charts now, so that's neat.
Everybody loves charts.
What?
Everybody loves
Everybody
charts.
loves charts. That's right. It's like it was hanging right there the whole time.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Just like in your team's meetings, everybody. Now, so check out Q's.
Yep.
This is weekly. So this is just a blank chart. I don't have any. This is just straight up and to the right momentum, as they say. So just volume down below for the uninitiated. And this was the Iran war. That's what the Iran war did to us. And this was, hey, quarterly earnings from AI companies were looking pretty good. So this is what the relative impact of those two ideas are.
Yep.
It's like oil drags it down that much, AI runs it up that much.
Right.
Admittedly, this is NASDAQ, but if you go look at SPX, you'll see the same thing. Doesn't
Yep.
matter. Yeah. And it's all because of oil. This is light sweet crude futures. This is all because of the Iran war. You know what this is doing? This is coiling up like this. Whoops, that guy. This is coiling up like this, ready to break out upward. That's what I think. I think we're going to see that that direction over the next couple of weeks, months, for sure. You can quote me on that.
Hmm.
I better be right. I don't normally like to stick my neck out that far, but I'm pretty sure this is where. Granted, this is daily, right? So this is like over the next. This is through the year, right? Like what? And then we'll put more, maybe a little bit. Like what we're not going to see is like it coming back down to here. Not in any of this time zone.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
At best case scenario, is we continue to wobble sideways.
Yeah, a bunch of chop consolidation.
Yeah, but all right. So that was the market segment. Are you ready to move on to a little more education?
Yeah.
So, with all of the differences between this AI business model bringing us to the moon on valuations and all of this oil nonsense in the Suez, I've been trying to really get a grasp of like what are the geopolitics of this? And the takeaway that I can come up with is essentially that I don't think the AI data centers are gonna be able to get the cost per unit down to where enterprises are profitable with it. That's more or less what I think. I think what's going to happen is because the whole thing is built on the premise that the the chips that are being ordered and built right now will all go live in 2028, and they will lead the way for all of this demand that the chips are gonna have. Like, don't get me wrong, we're gonna demand these chips, but they are at some point they're gonna misfire. And they can do it any number of ways. I just find it really hard to see that they'll stick the landing on it. Because what's gonna happen is the tokens that they expect to be used up, I don't
Hmm.
think the supply demand is gonna match. So like one of two things could essentially happen is like suddenly a barge full of chips coming across the Pacific, somebody decides to, just shoot it down. And
Right.
now it's like a year's worth of chips that have been like destroyed and sunk to the bottom of the ocean. And then they're not going to be able to supply all of the compute for AI that they want. On the other hand,
Right.
you get these people who really don't know how to use it, and then they're just not like, why am I paying for this?
Right. But I think let's back up for a minute there. You talked about a couple of different things there. One, that example of the AI chips, uh, the whole business enterprise of the AI world, right? Can you elaborate on how that kind of functions and what they're anticipating? Talking about tokens, for instance. Talk about like what a
Okay,
token is.
okay. So there's two points. There's hardware and there's software. The hardware is the chips.
Yep.
They're the ones that do the actual computations.
Right.
The software, in terms of AI, it's not so much a software like you've written code, it's more of like an API, like a exchange of information. So the API endpoints that any coder is familiar with is just like how you're sending information. And it gets, if you're advanced, you think about packets going back and forth. But what's happening in an AI query, like you type into ChatGPT and say, like, how's the weather? Question mark, send. What's actually happening there is a tokenizer tool, which is part of ChatGPT, will split up how's the weather question mark into a series of tokens, which are actually like represented by like number systems. It takes those numbers in and then it does all the calculations with the hardware, spits out new numbers, and then those new numbers are translated into the answer. And it says like, oh, it's 70 degrees and sunny in New York City, whatever.
Right. Right.
So you and I ask it that in ChatGPT and we just get the answer and we're like, cool, great, thanks. That's
Right.
what's actually happening.
On the
And
back
there's
end. Yep.
a count being done.
Right.
How many inputs you give it, how many things is it converting into tokens, and then there's how many is it converting out as tokens.
Right.
So when the AI model is being used and clients are being charged actual money, what they are actually being charged on is the number of tokens they use.
Right.
And that is the business model of a larger enterprise client, thousands of employees, like developers and all that stuff. Individuals are just paying their $20 a month because, quite frankly, $20 in tokens is probably more generous than most need. A few power users might be getting away with it and actually utilizing, say, like $100 worth of tokens. But the vast majority of people who are just like, make me an image of blah, 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 they're not even using up $20 worth of tokens, so they're just there to as a PR tool, as like a loss leader to get them interested in using it.
Right.
That's
So
all that.
so and I think majority of people are non-paid users, I would imagine. Like
They're not
I'm a
what?
non-paid user, like a non-paying user.
Well, all those retail users, yeah, like
Hmm.
they're just paying $20 a month, if that. And the ones who aren't are have even less. They use like $1 worth of tokens a day, maybe. But
Right.
the real whale is to get all of the enterprises using it, where they are basically going to use quadrillions of tokens,
Right.
and they will charge like your electric bill on the number of tokens you're using.
Right.
So that's like the business model of this whole deal. So
Right.
what they do, so like the models are competing in a
Right.
way because they want you to throw your token usage at that model.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because then, this model has like 1 billion parameters. It can handle 100 million tokens. Well, no shit. Like,
Right.
yeah, they want you to use more and more tokens.
Hmm. Right. So with
Problem,
that,
but
no, no, so right, with that as the understanding, and that is the business model, right? And then going with the other aspect of what you said is like, let's say like a bunch of those chips aren't delivered for whatever reason, right? And then all of a sudden there is a lack of computing power. Well, all of these whale users that they're, trying to hook, for lack of a better term, on and using all these quadrillions of tokens, if for whatever reason, if they can't produce what they're expecting, they're not going to want to pay for that product, right? And so I mean, like, there's going to be a
well, the
there,
price per use goes up.
right, and then at some point there's going to be, some sort of this isn't worth it,
Well, yeah,
like
that's the money aspect of things,
right,
right? So the problem is like people think like AI is going to solve all their problems and they can lay off all these people. And they're like, if you have $100,000 engineer
mhm,
who is using, say, $50,000 a year's worth of tokens,
right,
well, now that guy costs you $150,000.
right, right, yeah,
And like, you thought maybe eventually you could let him go and just rely on $50,000 a year worth of tokens, like have that he's going to build it and then it's just going to be an AI system and it'll just run it. And they cut their thing from 100 to 50. Unfortunately, though, you're actually going to end up at 150 because you
right,
still need that guy there
right,
to like make sure the thing works like any other
right,
system.
yeah. I mean, yeah.
So
So
like
so
the
it's
cost savings from labor are not going to hit
right,
in the next 2 to 4 years.
right,
Like, I mean, beyond that, it's like there be dragons. Who knows? Like, you can't like we can't. No one can predict that far out there. But like in the next 2 to 4 years, your average like mid-sized law firm with like 800 employees, like you think they're gonna you think they're gonna just switch over to AI? They're not even gonna understand what you're asking them.
right,
So a lot what like they have to be very careful about how they're going to use the tokens.
mhm,
Because if they don't generate enough usage, they're going to have a lot of problems building all those data centers.
right. Well, yeah, that's
Or
correct.
rather, if they build those data centers and no one uses them because the token usage is too high, they're going to have a problem.
Well, there's two different ways you can have a problem. One is that you have too many data centers and you can't fulfill the data centers, and the data centers aren't being utilized to their full potential. Or two, there's not enough data centers and there's a lack of computing power. So depending on, there needs to be equilibrium between the two, the data centers and the usage. And if one gets out of balance, it's going to be a problem on one side or the other. So that'll be interesting to see how that all plays out in
Six
terms of,
seven, right, Thomas? Six
yeah, right,
seven.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Uh, you're correct about that aspect of it, that it's like a wild goose hunt to find the equilibrium on the data center side. But more of what I'm saying is that like they're not going to generate enough cash flow. They're just
M-
not going to get enough customers in the near term to be able to
right,
finance all this shit.
right, right. So
I don't think they're going to
yeah,
have enough material to build a lot of this shit either, but I don't think they're going to be able to generate enough sales to justify it. It'll take
right,
like as
yeah,
soon as the guy says like shit, this is 150,000 instead of 50,000, then it's like F it. I got it
yeah,
back down to 100,000. Yay!
yeah, right,
And
yep,
it's just there's going to be this one big loop-de-loop and we're right back where we started.
yeah. It's gonna be, yeah, that's gonna be a good question. How that all plays out. That's something. Um, Yeah,
So
you're right though. I don't know how they're going to sustain all that cost. Like
I'm
I
not
just
saying that it won't eventually get there, but it's not going to be the next 2 to 4 years. I think they're going to have a problem in the near term.
oh yeah. Yeah,
Somebody has to eat all the loss,
right. And that's the
make
thing.
it cost effective.
When someone
Boils
has to
down
eat
to
the loss, who is eating the loss? That's the question.
that. Well,
And
yeah,
that's
head
going
for
to
the
be
hills.
yeah, right. So
Don't let
and
it be
then
you. Don't be the guy standing there with his dick in his hand.
yeah, right, seriously. Um yeah. So but yeah, who is going to eat all those losses is going to be the question because at some point somebody is going to lose out on this equation. And not everybody
Here's a
can make
piece which is not. This is in theory supposed to be a more educational session, but we're just going. We're just jiving. Um, isn't it funny how they are looking to add private investments like credit, like bonds to AI into 401ks?
hmm,
I don't know if you realize that, but that is something that had been proposed very recently to expand the usage of 401k portfolios, allowing those portfolios to invest in more opaque private investments to get higher returns.
hmm,
It just so happens to be the same categorization of bonds that
are
AI data
funding AI.
centers make up.
Interesting.
Or could very
So they're trying
easily
to
be
so they're
masked as because technically it's for the electric generators on the
mm,
side or whatever else.
right,
It's a utility bond.
right.
Like you're getting a lot of that shit coming.
Mm, yeah, because
So,
they're already
stick to
starting to
basics.
they're already looking for cash.
Stick to the basics.
Yeah.
They are. That's the whole thing. They're
Yeah.
trying to find new sources of cash. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're just burning through it
Yeah.
and they can't sustain it because everybody wants to, add pictures of Barack Obama into their, Hawaiian vacation. Like that's what they want to do.
Eh.
Yeah, it's like, hey, look at
I
me.
I have two before we close, this is just like an aside. I have two claim to fames while working at the big guns, JP Morgan.
Mm,
The first is I won the department summer tournament bocce ball tournament.
congratulations.
I did that and I beat the MD's wife, which is like not really a smart move. And the other is that I during the Zoom, because it was early COVID, Christmas party for the department, they said be festive. And so I just like I got a picture of Jamie Dimon and put a Santa hat on him and then just had it off center. So I was just like sitting there with Jamie Dimon and he had a Santa's hat on. And that was my like background. And it got called out by the end of the I got called out by like the executive VPs when they were judging which ones they thought were the funniest. I was like, I got the call out on that.
No,
So,
you got a call. There you go. That works.
yeah, that's also why I do a podcast and I'm not managing director of JP Morgan.
Yeah, that's why.
It's definitely a factor. All right. All right, let's get into the dad life. We said our piece. We vented about the data center woes.
Yeah.
How was Mother's Day?
Mother's Day was good. We have gotten to the habit of Mother's Day is we go out and kind of do like a little we just spend time as a family and go out like for like a nature walk or something like that. There's a lot of nature trails around here, so that's something that my wife likes to do. She likes to just kind of like go take a walk, just kind of be outside and hang out, and then we'll go grab lunch or something, and kind of just relax and have an easy, relaxing day. Nothing too major. Nothing. We don't really have too much on the agenda. Try to by design, try to get everything done ahead of time so that we don't really have to do anything or be at a certain place at a certain time. That's kind of how we like to operate. So that was good. It was nice. We got to hang out, had some lunch. It was good. Got to explore a town. You know, yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
That sounds like generic and fun.
It was generic and fun. That's exactly how I roll. I'm generic and fun. Ugh. How was
Generic.
your Mother's
There are
Day?
worse things than being generic and fun. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got my I got brunch for the family, but I could only get a 9 a.m. appointment.
Mm.
So
How'd
like
that go?
I really had to be on the ball. I had
Mm,
to make sure the kids were up and out and ready on
mm.
time, and I had that sole responsibility. I was not getting help from anyone
Nope.
because when you make it, I thought I made it like 2 months ahead. Like I made it in
Mm,
like February,
mm.
but that was not good enough. Best I could do was 9 a.m.
That's tough.
So we
Yeah.
went to 9 a.m. brunch. We were home by like 10:15,
Mm, there
and
you go.
then we had the day.
There you go.
We had the day. What are you gonna do?
I ended up I made pancakes in the morning, so I did.
That was nice of you.
Yeah. So,
Um, yeah, we had bagels or something. Oh, we had brunch. We had the brunch. I
yeah,
forgot.
there you
But
go.
then we had second breakfast because
Of
it was
course.
only 10:45.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta have second breakfast and
Yeah.
and then everybody has a nap at, 1 o'clock
So
and
that's a
yeah,
piece of it.
yeah. No. So that's good. I mean, yeah, I mean Mother's Day is always good. Did you reach out to our mother?
Our mother got flowers. Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah, she got a card. Yeah. We
Yeah. I think, did you send our mother something?
yeah, sent her a card.
You sent her a card?
Yeah, sent her a
I
card.
sent her a card and flowers.
Oh, well, good for you. Well, you're better than me. You're a better
I'd
son.
like to think so.
Yeah, you're a better son. We know. Everybody knows this. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that was the
but
first question I asked her when I interviewed her.
who's the best son?
Why am I the best? It's like, who's your favorite son and
Why is it
why
me?
is it me? Yeah, something along
Yeah,
those what I
yeah, of
had.
course.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that
That's
makes
still one
sense.
of
Yeah.
the most popular episodes.
Yeah, of course. I mean, she's a great guest. She's way better than your monthly guest of me, who's going to be replaced by AI soon. So it's fine. I think next month
Believe
it's
me, I'm working on it.
I'm
I'm
gonna
working
slowly
on it. Like Anakin Skywalker working on
yeah
C-3PO
I'm
in like
just
the
yeah
basement.
gonna slowly start becoming a robot, you know. And Tom becomes a robot. Have no fears. We've got podcasts for years.
Sorry for the clip show, which is what it was last month. That worked
Yep.
really well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good. But yeah, yeah. So Mother's Day was good. I mean, that's obviously the soup du jour. But then, the summer, the big thing is, that kind of kicks off the summer, right? So we were trying to figure out like all the summer things that we've got going on and how we're going to approach that. So the big thing this year is, so we belong to a pool, like a township pool, because we don't have a pool, in the neighborhood. So at the township pool, there is a deep end, and the deep end has a diving board and a slide. And in order to go off the diving board and a slide, when you're a kid, you have to pass a test, like a swim test, to prove that you can, swim. So our oldest is she's been taking swim lessons and stuff. And she's getting pretty good. Like I think she's a better swimmer than I am at this point. And so she's like gearing up to take that test. She's like, oh, I'm gonna take the test and I'm gonna be able to do the stuff. So she's pretty psyched about that.
Would
So
they make you take the test if you wanted to go off the diving board?
no, it's for kids like it's for I think anybody under like 13 or 14 or something like that.
Isn't
Like
that funny though? Like the presumption is that obviously you know how to swim and you're her
yeah,
father and you can do that,
yeah,
but you just admitted she might be a better swimmer than you.
yeah,
Like, wouldn't it be funny if you tried to jump in like smalls for and she had
yeah,
to like pull you out?
yeah. Yeah, I always wondered about that. Like, like, yeah, they make these kids do it. Obviously, a kid there's much more of a chance of a kid not being able to swim than an adult, or an adult should know better that they shouldn't go off a diving board if they don't know how to swim.
It's like the adult gets what he gets.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. But yeah, and it's all a bunch of high school kids like who are lifeguards. So like if like some large adult who didn't know how to swim decided to go on the deep end and just like went, like I don't know if that high school kid could reasonably save that person.
It's like when Kramer fights the kids in karate.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's
It's like,
yeah,
what am I supposed to do here?
yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
uh, but
But
yeah,
anyway,
that's
so she's doing the swim lessons.
yeah. So like like last year we asked like, hey, like what is the test? We were curious, like just so that we know like something to work towards, like a goal, And you have to tread water for like 2 minutes, which is a substantial amount of time. Which is like that's a decent amount of time. And I think you have to be able to tread water for 2 minutes, and you have to like be able to swim from side to side or something like that. It's the 2 minute treading though. That's like the big goal. It's like can you do that? So she's been practicing that, and that's been pretty. She's been working on her treading, and then she's also learning to dive, like legitimately dive into water, which is pretty cool. So yeah, she's got a really good backstroke. She she can she's like legit way better at swimming than I am. So
It's interesting you bring up swimming because we opted to join the neighborhood swim team for this
oh yeah,
season,
cool.
which I am moderately at peace with, I
Mm,
guess.
yeah,
Um,
Swimming's cool. Swimming's fun. I mean,
well,
you know,
the problem is like the scheduling. So we're
mm,
going away
mm,
for in June. So
mm,
the season is just the month of June, but it's like
okay,
the month of June. It's like that's what you do because they have
mm,
practices like almost every night, and then there's
right,
like the meets on the weekends, and two of them are
right,
at like other places. You can go drive there and stuff. Like it starts to get like it's short but intense.
right. Yep.
We're going on vacation for 11 days in June. Like we are just missing the entire middle of it.
So like,
Yet
what's the point?
we decided to sign up for this because some of the kids in the neighborhood that we know do it. Like, all
Mm,
right, we'll give it a shot. But I was like,
that's
we
tough.
are
Yeah.
way behind the eight ball on like
Oh
being.
yeah, that's gonna be a thing. That's gonna suck. Yeah. So that's
But the thing is, despite missing, I think I calculated it, we missed 13 of 30 days.
okay.
We are still responsible for five volunteer nights.
Yeah.
So I gotta like the other like 17, we have to like cover
Yeah.
like five of those nights.
Yeah. It's a lot.
We would have been responsible for that anyway, but we just like shortened it down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, ah,
Uh,
Jesus.
you really don't really have a choice on your
No, so
dates.
now we got to do all this crap, and now it's like starting, and it's like, I
Yeah.
don't know, what am I gonna do? So
Yeah.
it's
It's
like
coming
I
up.
have
Yeah.
to like, all right, I'm gonna watch them on like mark the fucking time
Yeah. You
down.
got to be a timekeeper and you know be a lap counter and all that jazz. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I will say that I'm enjoying we have a new ritual in my house where we go take a walk,
Yeah.
which means that like the kids will ride their scooter down to the playground, including the boy. So the boy comes along too for the ride.
Nice.
And we all just like I'll just follow them along and they play on the playground and whatever, just chill 45 minutes. Good time.
Yeah. We took a
Just
walk this evening. That's what we were trying to get into the walking. We used to take a lot of walks, and then for whatever reason it stopped. But now that our youngest one's getting a little older, we can start doing that again, which is good. So she's learning, trying to get her to learn a balance bike.
oh, the balance spikes. Yeah, my kids hate those.
Oh man, that worked out so well for my older one.
Yeah, I don't
She
like them.
she's freaking rock star because of that.
Yeah, my kids they'll ride like the razor scooter type things.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a scooter. Yeah, we have not like a razor scooter, but like it's a scooter. Then it has like a little seat that folds down. It's not like a razor scooter where there's like two wheels instead of one. You know.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. We all
Yeah,
have those
yeah,
too. They suck
yeah,
too.
yeah. Well, it is what it is. My
Uh,
older one is taking a defensive bicycle course in June.
a defensive bicycle course?
Yeah, so basically like
Is there an offensive bicycle course you
well
can
no
take?
so right around the corner from us is a competitive bicycle racetrack, like maybe 5 minutes away from our house. So every Friday night in the summer, there's like competitive cycling at that place. And it's pretty like it's
When you
like a
say
summer thing.
describe the bicycle,
You know, if you watch the Olympics like competitive cycling, like on a track and they're like racing,
yeah.
that's what that is like around the corner from us.
Okay,
Like
so
an
they're on like a track.
yeah, it's like an outdoor track where they're like cycling. Like it's like a track meet on bicycles.
Is it like a NASCAR track? Is it an oval or is it like a Formula One thing where they can make left and right turns? I have no
No,
idea
it's
what
like an
you're talking
oval.
about.
It's like an oval. Yeah, it's like banked, so like it's
Okay.
so like and you got the guys with like the speed helmets on and a whole nine. And so every Friday night in the summer they go to the velodrome and the velodrome is competitive cycling. So at the
Oh.
velodrome they have like a cycling class for kids where they can learn how to more efficiently maneuver bicycles and they learn about like um certain like if you're riding in streets and like things like kind of like a bicycle safety slash like maneuverability course. So like they'll kind of walk you through like, hey, this is what you should be doing on a bicycle if you're riding on the roads or whatever, all this other stuff. And then also if this is how you can more effectively maneuver around things. Like,
I
yeah, so
gotcha.
like yeah, so it's kind of so she's doing that. So that'll be fun. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out, like what they actually teach her.
That'll be cool. That's one of those just little geography things that's near
Yeah.
you so you can do it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's just another little fun community thing that's around here. So, yeah,
Sounds like a plan. Well, my
yeah,
friend, it is getting late and we really had a stimulating conversation. We tried to pack this in on a weeknight so we could get it done. Gonna continue to experiment a little bit.
yep,
We're gonna try to fine tune it a little bit, chop it up a little differently, do some different things, see what throw some stuff at the wall, see what sticks. But Thank you for coming as always. And as always, we will have the Substacks drop every Tuesday. We have the YouTube channel, which is going to have some caliber of video generation. Some of them will probably suck, but we'll get better. And then what else? We have Instagram. I keep an X profile, but honestly, I don't post on it. I don't. And the stores. Don't forget the stores. We are slowly rolling out some new stuff on the stores. A lot of new images. Father's Day coming up. That's a big one. We have some good stuff for Father's Day. So, Thomas, do you have anything else you want to say before we sign off for the month?
Nope, I'm looking forward to next month. Talk about good summer stuff next time.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.